Hey, what up guys? Today I will be doing a scouting guide showing you how to track your opponents and what to look for when scouting. So you get into a game and there are 8 players, yourself and 7 others. I like to type everyone's name up here, and then when you fight someone, you just move them down. Then you can fight one of these guys, you fight someone, you move them down. Let's say you fight this guy and move him down, and let's say you fight this guy and then you move him down. Once you have 3 names, it gets a little different. Once you have 3 people up here, it gets a little different. You can fight one of these 3 players, and then when you fight them, the first one in this column goes up. And then these are your 3 next possible opponents. So let's say you fight this guy, moves up, this guy goes here. You can go a whole game without fighting somebody, it's just how it goes. It gets a little different when someone dies. So if someone down here dies, you just drop their name off and it's okay. If someone up here dies, you have to drop them and you add the first person here, so you always have 3 names. It gets a little different when it's like the last 4, the last 3 left, and when you get ghost armies. So let's say there's like 6 other players left, and you get a ghost army. I treat the ghost army as if it's one of these players. So let's say you get player 3's ghost army. I just put player 3 down here, and more often than not, it'll usually be right. If it's like 3 players left, you can be in a scenario where you fight the ghost army and then the player back to back. So for the most part, this will be pretty accurate, but once it gets to 3, it gets a little sketchy. Let's just move on to what to look for when scouting. A lot of players, they know they should scout, but they don't know how to do it. These are the things I look for when I scout. Most importantly, I'm looking to get the most value out of my team. So early game, I'm looking to position units like Garen to tank aggro so the enemy gathers around them. So I'll look to see where the enemy is clumped up, and I'll try to put Garen in front of those units. Later on in the game, I try to position my Aatrox, my Sejuani to Aatrox to like snipe key units. I want to have them opposite from their carries. I try to put Sejuani where it's going to hit most of their enemy team. If I'm running something like a Kayn or an Assassin, I want to get it on those priority targets. So this is probably the most important thing to look for when scouting, how to just get the most value out of your units. That also covers things like positioning your Shroud, positioning your Zephyr, and you just want to get more value from your units and items. Point 2 is avoid enemy value. It's basically point 1, but like flip-flopped. You want to dodge the Garen. If you see a Garen 2, you don't want your team just bulking around it. If you see an Aatrox, you need to play around it. If you don't have a trap clear or QSS in your carry, you need things like Azir. You need decoy units. Basically, it's point 1, but opposite. If there's a Kayn, you probably put your units on the other side, your Ashe or your Veigar or whatever your carry is. The third point, it's not as important, I would say, but it's still something to keep in mind. If you're a newer player, I wouldn't focus on it as much, but as you get better, it is something to keep in mind. You look to see what items and units people have. That will give you an idea of what comps they're trying to play, and it tells you how contested you are and how likely you are to be able to play the comp you want. So let's say you have Ashe items, right? And you're like, I want to play Ashe, and then you scout and you see 3 people with Elderwood Maokai and like 1 guy with Elderwood Nunu, and you're like, oh shit, 4 people are playing Elderwood. Maybe this isn't gonna work out. If you have your units, you can still do it, but if not, you might want to pivot. You see no one's playing Talon, you see no one's playing whatever. Yeah, you'll be more likely to hit those units. So just something to keep in mind. See what items and units people have, and then you'll have more information to make decisions with. Another thing is checking gold. It's super minor, but if you scout and you see no one has any gold and you're sitting at 60 gold, then you'll probably be losing fights, because it means that most of the lobby all in and they got a power spike, whereas you haven't. So you kind of want to try to match the lobby in those situations. Also, if you see everyone at like 60, 50 gold, then you probably don't want to all in there, because even though you're going to spike, the whole lobby is going to outpace you. So, well, that about wraps it up. If you like the guide, make sure you subscribe to the channel to get notified the next time I drop a new guide. And I'll see you guys next time.